to the detention center for another 20 days. When he brought me out, they also turn around to the Supreme Court turn around and says that he's supposed to do an evidentiary hearing on why he put me in prison. That didn't happen either. So Robert Lane right now to this day is in contempt of the appellate court and the Supreme Court. And he's still sitting on the bench. Even the Judicial Commission on Disciplinary Acts told me he did make a legal error, but you have to go to the appellate court because they're the ones that found it. Okay, so now we have 3 government agencies that all above Robert Lane, the judge, saying that he's wrong. But he's still sitting there. Okay, I think he shouldn't run for office. And that's another thing. We got to start looking for lawyers that want to be judges in Nye County. Because if we can get a new person in like we did with Chris Arabia in the DA's office, and like what we did with Lisa Shamley in Department A of the Justice of the Peace, and we start changing things around, we're gonna get our constitutional rights protected. If you did something wrong, that's fine, but you gotta go according to the civil and constitutional rights. You wanna put somebody in prison, you still gotta uphold those 2 things. It's that simple. Let the system work the way it's supposed to work without playing games. That's the way it should work. So, what I was getting at, and I'm going to get to this a little bit later, I've been talking to Captain Vincent Valerio from the City of New York, 40 years, law enforcement, the last 19 years of his 40 years. He was in the Department of Investigation, locking up dirty players in the government on every level. Federal, he's been deputized by the FBI, DEA, U.S. Marshals. The guy has a lot of juice. And he turned around and says, you are not going to be a felon when this is all over. I think the 2 of us should look at, this is Vincent and myself, should look at 2022 sheriff race. And I turned around and says, well, my campaign slogan should be convict to sheriff. So I just thought that was pretty funny. My mother actually got a little laugh out of that, and she don't laugh about too much of this. But we'll talk about that more and more as this goes on. I want to talk a little bit about, are we time for a break yet or no? Yeah? Okay. Well, what we're going to do when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about Miller. And our new sponsor is Godfather Media, an internet service provider for the Pahrump Valley. Godfather Media contact 877-Pahrump. That's 877-724-7867. Thank you.
Support for KPFF comes from B&P Dirtwork. B&P Dirtwork offers all-purpose backhoe for driveways and fifth wheel pads, digging trenches, clearing lots and fields, and more. B&P Dirtwork is licensed, insured, and happy to work for you. More information at 702-540-0960. That's 702-540-0960.
Maybe I'm having a problem with the speaker, with the microphone.
All statements heard on this station are that of the program hosts, co-hosts, guests, and callers alone, and are not necessarily those of the station or its affiliates.
Hello, this is LD, Lazy Dog Michael John. I'm going to host a show Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. called Lazy Dog's Front Porch. Why don't you come on by, crawl up on the porch, pull up a chair, and join me. We're going to have a good time.
Maybe the
Chat about
contacts
this,
are dirty.
that, everything
I'll have to
else.
check it after
We
his
might
show.
even become
Because I'll be
interested.
here for that
We'll
too.
just see where it goes. Sunday night, 7 p.m. on KPFF.
That's why I don't have my headset on, because I'm not taking any phone calls today.
Want to be
That's an old one.
Call us now at 775.
Yeah, don't pay attention to that one. We don't have that.
44.
That's an oldie.
419.
That's funny.
2344.
No matter how many times you delete something, it keeps coming back to life.
Hello, listeners. Want to know what top programs are broadcast by KPFF? The KPFF
And before the show, I took some pictures of the UFO outside here. So forget Storm Area 51. We got a UFO right here in the parking lot. It's pretty cool
programs
too.
are added or changed, so will the guide. That's www.pahrump.filmfestival.org for the best top programs in Pahrump.
This is White Lily here. You know me from Friday night from 7 to 8 on
No, he's not here either, so don't worry about that.
White Lily Show. But guess what? I also have a Monday night show from 7
Yeah, that's what you have to
o'clock
do.
every Monday. New
I'll delete that
program,
later. Don't
new
change over
information
to.
for listeners. So tune into the White Lily Show Fridays
Yeah, it
and
keeps coming
Mondays
back.
7
So
p.m.
don't what do you call it?
KPFF.
Don't change it out. Don't change to his. I'll go in there and clean it up.
This is 97.7, Pahrumps Community Radio Station.
And welcome back. I'm sorry about those little blunders there that Dwight is not having a show here. That's an audio mistake. But sorry, but we'll get that corrected. Before I get into the Miller situation, I want to talk about Comrade de Blasio, the mayor of New York. And he suspended his presidential campaign. I don't know why. I mean, he was polling at 1%, and he actually dropped down to 0% polling. And why would you back out from that? I mean, you got no place but up. I mean, he was on a rebound. He was dropping from 1% to 0. He could probably rebound and shoot right back up and waste more people's money and try to be the president. But yeah, that's funny. That you know, and there's a guy, Beto O'Rourke, Francis Beto O'Rourke. He's been polling at 0. This is the guy that wants to take our guns away. Okay, and he is polling at 0, but he's in the fight. And he's not going to give up, even though he's polling at 0. So you got to give him kudos for not knowing how much of a butthead he is. So, Francis, you might jump up to de Blasio spot at 1%. Maybe you'll get there by October. So, I want to talk about this climate change strike. And I'm not a professor of media, not, how would you do it? Meteorology. That's the proper word. And I don't know if it's getting warmer. I can't tell because I live in a desert, so it's usually hot here all the time. But why would you scare elementary school children into believing that this is all over in 12 years? Why would you do that to little kids? Why don't you at least let them get into high school before you let them know that life sometimes sucks? Why would you do that to a little kid? I don't understand. Are you so desperate to indoctrinate kids that you want to start them, poison them in your way? Remember we talked about before, either this side or that side. But rumors are no good. All right? And here's one of the biggest things. They had a 5-year-old kid worried about global warming and afraid that the earth is going to come to an end in 12 years. Why would you do that to them? I just don't get it. So I think we should stop with the indoctrination and let children have a good time as children and not make them have to wonder what bathroom they're supposed to go into or worry about the heat or the severe rain or the severe snow. And you got to understand, the Green New Deal is only for the United States. What good is making the United States of America carbon-free when China and India do more polluting than the whole world put together? How's that going to work? This is a money grab, okay? And I heard this the other day, and it was beautiful. The Green New Deal is like a watermelon. beautiful green on the outside. You cut it open and it's red as the communist flag on the inside. This Green New Deal is a money grab and control. Even the Oriental guy who's running for president wants to give everybody $1,000 a month. He said that one of the biggest waste is people owning cars. That he thinks that individuals should not own a car. You should use public transportation because we're going to have all these self-driving cars, and you could pile into a sardine can like this and go for your groceries or go to a doctor's appointment and waste half your day for something that takes a half hour to do with your own car. That's not control. Okay, so let's stop all of this nonsense. I believe in solar energy. Okay, I believe in a lot of things. It doesn't make me for the Green New Deal. I just believe that we should be self-sufficient. And the Green New Deal does not make anybody self-sufficient. Matter of fact, you're more dependent on the government than you'll ever be working that Green New Deal. It's a control thing. It's socialism, communism, progressivism, all thrown into the blender that is mixing up what's in the septic tank, and they're going to take the top off that blender and splash you with what's in there. Because the Green New Deal is really brown. It's a load of poop. Okay? And that's putting it mildly. It's ridiculous. We gotta figure something else out. Our economy is going good because we are energy independent at this point. So you want to destroy our economy. What's wrong here? What is wrong with everybody? Why don't you just let kids be kids? And then they can grow up and do whatever they want. And they have a choice. I have my mother's heart doctor. He's very conservative. And he turned around and says, now he comes from a conservative household, and he said his daughter lived in a household the first 18 years of her life. She went to school, came back after the first semester, and came back a communist. Because they're getting pounded in college day after day after day of all this one-sided. Yeah, everybody's going to get a free college education. You know why? It's an indoctrination camp. That's what college has become. And if you are very easily led, this is not a place for you to be. And what parents need to do is teach their kids to listen to both sides and make your own decision. Don't let somebody take your freedom away. And your first form of freedom is thought. Have your own thought. That's why I'm telling you about this whole situation with the co-op. Don't spread rumors. If you don't have facts, don't talk about it. It's that simple. You got facts, show the people that you're talking to. But if you can't show them the stuff, and not something you wrote on a piece of paper, like my notes, you want to see fact. You want to see an audit. You want to see these things. You want to hear the audio. Make your own decision. It's the freedom that nobody can take away from you unless you give it up. So, you know the shooting in, because I'm a constitutionalist, and the shooting that happened in Florida, guess who was one of the people in charge of, that was working in that school district? Did you ever hear the name of Jesus Jara? He is the person who is in charge of Clark County school system right now. And if anybody thinks I'm talking through my nose, you should get the book, Why Melissa Died. The father of this girl, Melissa, who was killed, wrote a book and did an investigation. And the school system down there knew that this kid had a problem. He actually was going to a special school, and they put him into the regular school. And this goes along with my thing that we have these plants all around, and all they need to do is be activated to have a problem. And why would you put a kid who said that he wanted to kill people, hurt people, into a school with everybody else? This was a ticking time bomb. And how I got into this story is, I have a ticking time bomb named Paul Miller living on my property. Okay? He is a ticking time bomb. And I talked to Captain Vincent Valerio in New York every day, at least once. It's very rare that we don't speak in a day. And he told me something this morning, and I never realized, that Miller has a Messiah complex. And I asked him, what does that mean? Well, he feels that every place that he parks his body is his domain, and he can do anything he wants, which is fact. There's rules and regulations at 5980 Pahrump Valley Boulevard that myself and other owners, the owners of the property, put in place. And I follow them, and people who are there have to follow them. But Messiah Miller doesn't think that he has to do that. And all the processes that I've been going through since the day that he got there, and it started in writing on July 17th, was if he would have just followed the rules that everybody else that lives there does, there wouldn't be a problem. But because he thinks everything is his domain, he don't have any rules. That's why he could park his truck in one spot and put junk on top of it and junk alongside of it in front of my dwelling that I live in. And he could lay on the lounge chair like the whole place is his. And he could put junk outside, which I told him when he got there that you could do anything you want in your unit, but I don't want to see it or know it, and nothing should be outside. Well, all the cops that he has called to have me put in prison, because he's telling people he's going to put me in prison because I'm a criminal and abusing an old 71-year-old man, which I'm going to be 64 in 60 days. Okay, so he's not much older than me, but he's doing the same thing to my 90-year-old mother. My mother's terrorized. The guy's a nutcase. She knows it. She's scared. She does not even go out on her porch to sit out at night and look at the stars and relax, because he is deranged, carrying a .45 automatic on his hip. But he's deranged, but he's slick. When he calls the cops, no gun, shirt covering his belt so you don't know if he has a gun or not. So he knows how to play the system, and he uses these cops, and the cops are starting to get it. Okay? Because I sit and talk to them. I sound rational. I have paperwork on top of paperwork on top of paperwork. And he went to the post office and said that I was stealing his mail. He has done everything he could to badmouth me, which people that know me know it's not true. I do more for this community than probably 80% of the people here. Most people don't do anything for anybody. There's a lot of good people here that do a lot of things, people to help. But the reason why he's so emboldened is because his friends seem to allow him to keep going on with this. Now, what I'm talking about is he told the cop that came the other day he has no money to fight this. Well, what happened to the $200 that you didn't give me on September 1st? Where's that? You're out of money on the 15th of the month or on the 18th of the month, but you had $200 extra. What happened to the $200 he gives to his attorney to fight his landlord for throwing him out and getting rid of his stuff? What happened to that $200 that he hasn't paid in 2 or 3 months? The cop says he has no money. I turned around and told the cop he has more income than I do. Why would he live in a toilet like he is when he has more income? His income is almost double of mine. I do more for the community with half the money he has, he can't even do for himself. because he thinks that everybody's his mommy and we all got to give him money and do things for him. Well, at 71 years old, you better get smart. How many places are you going to get thrown out of? And if anybody knows Gene Woods, who is the landlord that he's suing, please give her my number, because I would enjoy testifying for her on how he is. Because when he did what he did to her place, he did it to the next place, and the next place, and my place. Okay? Because he has a pattern. Even animal control, when they came, knew him. Knew that he pushes the dog poop up against the wall and lives over there, and he lives over here. What kind of person does that? It's more effort to push the stuff against the wall than it is to put it up and put it in the garbage pail. Who does that? You gotta be mentally deranged to turn around and live like that. Now, I'm not gonna allow 5980 Pahrump Valley Boulevard to become LA East. It's not gonna happen. Okay, that's why his water got shut off when his sewer was leaking out onto the ground. I'm not gonna allow it to happen. Do we want the plague here? It's bad enough that he's a walking plague, that we have to have plague that everybody else is going to catch. Okay? So this person, I don't know where he should go. Okay? I think that his first step from 5980 Pahrump Valley Boulevard would be, what do they call that place up in Sparks? I don't know. It's a place where you get mentally evaluated. What he should do is he should get in his car, pick up Robert Lane, and the two of them should go up there and get mentally evaluated. Because the stuff that Robert Lane has done to this community, maybe not the first couple of years he was in office. He's been there since 2000. But in the last 4 to 5 years, what I have watched him do is not sane. Anybody who swore the oath to the Constitution and does what he does, there's something wrong there. So the two Messiahs, Messiah 1 and Messiah 2, should get in the loony vehicle and drive up to Sparks, Nevada, and check in and let some professionals figure out what's going on in those two craniums. I mean, they'll probably be able to write books on this. Okay? So I'm trying to make a little bit of a joke out of a very serious situation. And what I talked about was, remember they always say, if you see something, say something? Well, I'm telling the law enforcement in this community, and they have dealt with him at least 3 or 4 times just since July, okay? And you don't see them cuffing me and taking me away, and I'm the bad guy, okay? So they know what they're dealing with. They want me to go through the legal process, which I've been doing, and let's see how it all works out. This is a loose cannon. Okay, a .45 handgun can take anybody down with one shot. May not kill you, but you're not going to get up. Okay, it's that simple for a while if you're not dead. And this guy's walking around like this. He's a ticking time bomb. I'm telling you, everybody should watch. He has told more lies about me than Robert Lane and the Pahrump Valley Times under the editor of